think we're going to be live here. I'm waiting to see if it's catching up with us. It seems that we're live. Hello, this is Dawn Tackis coming to you from my office downtown Pittsburgh. This podcast is The Point, where we have real, raw, unfiltered, unscripted conversations about all things wedding planning in the city of Pittsburgh and beyond. Without further ado, let's get to it. Let's get to the point. Hello, Cara. How are you?
I am well. How are you, Dawn?
I'm
Thank you
doing.
for bearing with me with my technical difficulties this evening.
So how did you do yesterday? Were you like, I want to make some small talk, make sure that we're live everywhere. Um,
Yeah.
how was your recovery from Sunday?
I definitely was on the couch for part of the morning. Yesterday felt like my Sunday. So I took it easy for the better part of the morning and then caught up with some emails and some work. How did you do?
I did the same. I could barely walk. I don't remember the
Yeah.
last time I did that many steps. Um, we are live on our Facebook page, so I am going to share that in our group so that everybody can see what's happening. I'm going to assume that means that we are live in the other spaces as well, or it's catching up. But yeah, it took me a little bit of recovery. You know, the older you get, the harder it is, those long 16-hour days. And
Yeah. I always joke, and you probably heard me say it on Sunday, that I used to do events in heels, and I never put a heel on anymore. Excuse me 1 second while I just plug this in.
I have these wonderful Anne Kleins that have like the cushion heel on them, and they look
Oh,
all
yeah.
swanky and everything, but they're actually so comfortable. They're like slippers, and I get really angry when they get misplaced because we're
Yes.
loading in and out of events, and I'm like, guys, where are my shoes? Have you seen
Yeah.
my shoes? And they're like, yeah, Dawn, we'll find your shoes. Don't panic.
Yeah.
So the joy of the podcast today, I think there's, a little bit of joy, a little bit of bittersweet, as we really wanted to talk about the angel wedding that we did on Sunday and how that unfolded and how that is now becoming a part of our community, a very important part of our vision and our mission. And I want to start off by telling the story of, many of you know that we did an angel wedding for Miranda and Tyler back in February of last year. Well, we had a bride recently that caught wind of that newscast and messaged me directly. And she was under some circumstances. And I don't know, Cara, if you want to pick up and elaborate a little bit, but she already had a wedding planned for November of 2026 and had already started buying decor, had planned for 160 people, was going to do it at a very beautiful venue out in Stallstown that's very woodsy and reminiscent of old world or Renaissance, something like that. And her dad came down with a debilitating illness that attacks his lungs. And I believe it's IFP. And it's a progressive disease that basically prohibits him from being able to breathe. It just deteriorates his lungs. Did you read up on that at all?
I did read up on it a little bit, and I know that the bride had posted some information, and I was sort of scouring her Facebook page for information about it, and she had mentioned that he is on a transplant list, but it's progressive, and she explained that it essentially steals your breath from you. So
Yeah.
it's very unfortunate and very sad, but I think she had, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think she had reached out to you just generally for some advice on how one might accelerate a wedding. And of
Yeah.
course, she came to Mama Bear
Yeah.
and came to the right person. And
Yeah.
you were able to sort of spearhead this whole thing and throw this together in, I think it was 20 21 days,
It was
right? Was
21 days. So she contacted me August 1st and she sent me a Facebook message, exactly what you had said. She said, I want to, doctor said that if I'm going to do this with my dad, that I should move it up. And so we've made a difficult but conscientious decision that we want to move the wedding up. And we really just don't even know where to begin. And we already have some vendors book and some we do not. And, we had 160 people and now we want to do 20. And so, being mama bear that I am, I was like, I can help you. I can help you find a place. And if you only have 20 people, that would be pretty easy to find. And reached out to Jessica from Gather. She has a tiny space that's perfect for like rehearsal dinners, small weddings, bridal showers, that type of thing. And we went and toured that venue. I met the couple there in person, and I could tell that there was just something that was not vibing or not jiving with her. When we toured that venue, Jessica was beautiful, very pleasant. It's a gorgeous place, great for if you need a place for a bridal shower. Gather, look it up there on our website. But I could just read, you read the room a lot, right, in these situations, because there's a lot of things people just will not say. And she stated, I sat her down and I said, listen, when you messaged me, I contacted two people. I contacted this venue, but I also contacted David English, Dr. David English from Glen Eden Barn. And I asked him what his availability was. And without hesitation, in the true spirit of love and kindness and everything that's good in people and in the world, he said, yeah, you can have my space. If you want to do a wedding here, you can have our space. And I said, okay. So I banked that. And then I let her know that in the meeting. I was like, you should go see Glen Eden Barn. It's very similar to what your vision was originally. And if I was getting married again, I would want to get married there. And
it
I
is
tell that to everyone.
such a beautiful space.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's a must see, and what makes it even more stunning is the heart of David. And
Yeah.
this was the first time that I had the pleasure of meeting him and working with him, and he is just such a kind soul and so generous, and you could talk to him for hours. And it was just such a pleasure
Yeah.
getting to know him this weekend.
When you engage in a conversation with David English, you've made a new friend.
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt.
It goes beyond the business relationship. You just feel that sense of comfort and love and just pure joy. And he is one of those people that gives without expecting anything in return. And I love that about him. I invited him to come on tonight and I said, you want to pop in and chat with Cara and I? And he's like, I have to go to church. I'm
Oh,
leading. And I was like, okay, that's okay. We will represent you the best that we can. I'm going to pop in a picture really quick here if it'll show. That's David and I.
aw.
You took
Well,
that
he mentioned,
picture.
I think he's a musician as well,
Yes.
right? And I
Yes.
and I believe he will even open Glen Eden to his community and to his church, and he does wonderful things for so many people.
Yeah, he gives more than he takes in every way imaginable. And just to I can't even underscore, we have a lot of beautiful venues in Pittsburgh and in the surrounding areas, but the extent of love and passion that he put into this place, just you can't even fathom. This barn was actually moved from another location to this location piece by piece. It was literally taken apart and then rebuilt by the Amish in immaculate detail. And he was telling us the story about how they labeled every piece and of wood, and it was taken down, and it took 2 years for them to rebuild it and so that it could be an exact, you know standing of what it originally was.
It really is a labor of love, and he absolutely, you can see that he loves what he's doing. I mean, he was there all day after, I think you had said, having a wedding Friday or an event Friday and a wedding Saturday and
Yeah.
Sunday. The angel wedding that we came together for was his third event of the weekend, and he was there for the long haul. And he really is just such a lovely person. And you had said that, and Taylor, and I'm sure you'll mention her, had said that about him, and you definitely were not lying.
Yeah.
He was just a true joy to chat with.
So, and I think what was the most bittersweet moment for me of this entire day that started at 9 a.m. and, we had weeks, 21 days of planning, right? We're rushing everything. We had a venue, they had decor, they had already started for their 2026 wedding. So the family was working on decor and getting their invitation list. Within 24 hours, she had her count. She knew who was coming. It was important for everyone to be there and be present. And so we knew what the count was. So we could just start putting all the pieces together for this. And it was just a whirlwind of doing this, and we really wanted them to have something special, something memorable. They had a lot of heart and soul into the wedding that they had envisioned, with the groom making pieces and elements. He made handcrafted the arch for their wedding and other elements that were there, and we really wanted to respect that, honor that, and really, yes, it was an urgent wedding. Yes, it was an angel wedding, but we also wanted it to be, true to who they were as a
Yes,
couple.
their wedding, and
That
I think we were successful in that. It definitely felt like them. And so I'm hoping that that was a comfort to them, um, on that very bittersweet day, I'm sure, for them.
and I was circling back to the moment that, like, really got me. Like, I was
Yes.
fine all day because we were busy. We were decorating, we were cookie tabling, we were moving the crowd, we were icing water, we were taking care of dad, making sure dad was safe. I mean, that was one I didn't anticipate, was the amount of energy that it took to make sure that he was secure and that we had a plan in place that wouldn't take away from the bridal party, the groomsmen, or any of the family. Everyone could still be present in the ceremony part of it, and allocate some people. Paul Walker being one of our volunteers that did
Yes.
that. And he was basically dad's shadow, and he lifted him and carried him and got him his tanks and carried all of his equipment. And, I tell everybody Paul's my son, you know.
Paul is another amazing human.
Really, really is. Love him to the moon and back. He's one of our team members. He's been with us for over 7 years, but I know that he has a heart of gold, and that's why I asked him, if he would help us this day. But circling back to this moment, like, when Becky, the bride, came out and they opened the barn doors and she came out and that song was playing and she made her grand entrance, and I was trying to video it. I'm not a video person, but I promised her I would video it for
Yeah.
so I have the camera on a tripod, and I move it over so it's behind her, so it's videoing what had been a long discussion with many parties' input about how dad was gonna execute this and how he was gonna get down the aisle, if he was gonna do it or if we were just gonna have him sit at the end of the aisle, because let's he was having a hard time even standing. Standing, his oxygen was dropping to 80. And so there was, like, all of this input from everybody on what that looks like. And, the human spirit and a father's love for their daughter is something that can just steal your breath away. Because when they wheeled him to the end of that aisle, and he was literally, like, I'm gonna say 15 feet away from the
Mhm.
ceremony, and Paul helped him and Tyler, the cousin, helped him, and he stood up, and Becky came out and grabbed his arm, and this man who just literally 30 minutes ago was having a hard time standing, he walked her down that aisle. And David and I were right behind because I had the camera and I'm videoing it, and David and I looked at each other, and we just started busting out crying.
It was a very special moment, and I'm so glad that they both got to have that. Yeah, I don't that was another one. I don't know if there was a dry eye in the space,
No.
but um
Just the tenacity and the pure love of his daughter. And, and people were challenging him saying, "Oh, you should do this. Oh, you should do this. Oh, you should do this." And he's like, "No."
oh yeah, he wasn't having it.
He was not having it.
Yeah. Yeah, his wife, Becky's mom had said, she was like, "He is very stubborn and he is going to walk her down that aisle and do what he wants." And boy, he did. And this is the second time that we've been able to work together on something like that and see something like that. And it's really special.
Yeah, and it is part of the Pittsburgh Brides mission and vision and platform, and this is about community, and, we wanna give more than we take, and our group and our platform is so much different because this is not just about coming in and spamming a bunch of posts when people are looking for a DJ or a wedding planner or a photographer. This is about saying, "You know what? I have time on Sunday, Dawn, what do you need? I'm
Right.
stepping up. I'm gonna help. Hey, Dawn, I can't be there, but can I, Venmo you some money to help pay for some cookies?" Or,
Right.
like we come together, like this is part of the platform that I've built. This is just not another Facebook group just to market and promote yourself. This has now become a community of trust where
Right.
the brides, a person that I don't even know, like have no relationship whatsoever, is messaging me and saying, "I need help. How can you help?" And I'm like, "We're in. We can help. We can do this. We have enough passionate people in this group that we can help you put a wedding together in 21 days." 21 days.
Yeah.
We've done it in 18 hours, Cara, but
Yes.
21 days.
Yeah. And I think, you are pulling together a group of volunteers, a group of vendors, a group of, what should be competitors. And that is what I have consistently said is so special about Pittsburgh Brides is that there is no it's community, you said it. There's really no other way to say it.
Yeah.
Planners are working alongside each other, different photographers are working alongside each other. We are a team. We make each other better, and it's definitely, you feel that, and I feel that in the work that I do with you and with other people. And I had the pleasure of working alongside Taylor, and I'll let you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Taylor was just lovely, and she really took the reins and the lead on planning, planning this thing. And
Yeah.
again, she's another planner, but I really like to have those people in my corner, and it's wonderful that Pittsburgh Brides helps to facilitate those relationships.
Yeah, Taylor from Myers Precision Planning, she is on the Pittsburgh Brides platform, and she has great success with our platform, and when I mentioned this to her, she said, "I'm in. I'm in," and she met with me and the couple, and we sat down and we talked about their wedding because I wanted to make sure that everybody vibed, and man, did she keep everything organized.
Oh,
Like,
super organized,
super
super
organized,
organized.
super informed. Like, she made sure to let everyone know everything. She kept David in the loop of everything. There was full transparency across the board. But to shout out the vendors, and I think this is really important, both the vendors and the volunteers. So we had Taylor from Myers Precision Planning, Cara
Mhm.
from Caristia Events. We also had Sean from Top Shelf Bartending. I'm gonna make sure I get that right, and there's an
Yeah.
inside joke on that one.
Yes, yes.
We had, DC Salon. We had Shelby do the makeup. She volunteered to do the makeup for the bride and the bridal party. And then we had some amazing vendors that were already contracted with this couple, Soundwaves Entertainment, Morgan, Cohen Photography. They already had contracts in place, and they rearranged their schedules so that they could be there to facilitate this, and that was amazing of them. Then we brought on Mission Barbecue that allowed us to book them really quickly. Kylie, she was amazing to work with that day. She there wasn't a request that we asked of her that she didn't handle, and she left the kitchen how she found it, which is amazing. Who else? Who am I missing? Paul, my man Paul, volunteered and stepped up. Did he
Taylor's hubby, her husband was there.
Michael,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, he was there. He brought a lot of the muscle, and he was, I think on just a couple hours of sleep. He had had a really busy night and day the day before, and he worked alongside Taylor all day and helped her out. And it was really just it was really a great day.
It was a labor of love.
Yes.
And I sent out the word to, like, all the people that I know. I posted in the group. The Takis family is practicing Catholics, and I just sent out to everybody. I was like, "Please pray. Pray for Pete, pray for this family, pray for a wonderful, joyous day that they can remember." Like, that's what we're here for. We really want them to just and what was really wonderful, about this wedding, Cara, and I noticed it after, was, like, because we had so many wonderful volunteers there, they were able to just enjoy each other and enjoy
Oh,
family.
absolutely.
They
Mhm.
weren't busy doing a cookie table or decorating or anything. Like, they were VIPs for the day, and that's what I wanted. I wanted
Right,
them to just be present in the moment and be with each other. I didn't want them to worry about if there was enough plates for the cake or,
right.
anything like that. A couple times the mom had asked me a couple questions, and she's like, "Do you have this? Do you have this?" I finally looked at her and said, "Lori, I got you.
Yeah.
I I promise you, I
Joy is
got you. I've crossed my T's, I've dotted my I's, I got you. We got you covered. What I want you to do is be with your husband, be with your daughter, be in this moment because it's gonna go by really quick." And she just looked at me and smiled, and she grinned, and she's like, "Okay, Dawn." And, it was just a blessing moment, and the other moment that really caught me, I'm gonna play a little clip here, um, to share with you. It's not too long, but I have to play this because the bride really went out of her way to do this. I'm gonna share this with everybody.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up with just a month's notice, and thank you for making our hearts feel so incredibly full. There's a joke coming up about how I'm gonna cry. Just know it's coming, and I'm doing really great at not doing that. We know the celebration came a year and a half earlier than expected, and somehow you all dropped everything to be here, and that alone makes this day unforgettable.
We're still trying to wrap our heads around how this all came together in just 3 weeks. Honestly, we're not sure of how. Honestly, we're not sure of how we're standing here without crying hysterically.
That was the joke. Thank you all for laughing.
The gratitude we feel is overwhelming in the best way possible. There are so many people we need to thank, and we're going to try our best to get through this without turning into a ball of emotions. Yeah?
I'm gonna do great. I'm gonna do great.
To Dawn from Pittsburgh writes, thank you for being the spark that lit this fire. A single Facebook message started this whole journey, and we are eternally in your debt. To Taylor from Precision Planning, Cara from Carissa Planning, and Dr. David English, who owns this stunning venue. Y'all can't tell me it's not, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Your flexibility, kindness, and willingness to help complete strangers has changed our lives. You didn't just help us plan a wedding, you helped us create a memory that will live in our hearts forever.
Yeah, she got me on that one.
That was very sweet and very unexpected
Yeah.
and very kind of her to shout everybody out. But
totally unexpected. Like, and she even told me, she's like, make sure you're videoing my speech. Cause, she was like, video, I need somebody to video and everything. I was like, okay, I'll video. And like, I never saw it coming. And I questioned whether to even play it, but I knew that she would want me to. And the reason I wanted to play it for everyone was to really just circle back and say what we're here for.
Right.
Community.
And you have always said that Pittsburgh Brides is about the brides. And
Yes.
so I think this is, we should talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Talk about how there is a shift with the platform of Pittsburgh Brides and doing. I'm just going to put it out there, doing the things that Pittsburgh Brides does and facilitating things like these angel weddings. It takes
Redos of the I do.
redos of the I do, resource guides and materials for our couples, having admins on hand and making yourself available to answer questions on a whim when a bride has them, those things. And if you won't say it, I will say it because I'm, a degree removed. It takes time, energy, and money.
Yeah.
And so I think we talked about this a little bit before. I think we should talk about it
Sure.
again. And I had said to you, let's just be transparent. Let's talk about the business, I think, subscription. Are we calling it a subscription?
The business membership
Business
platform.
membership platform.
Business membership platform. Yep.
Yep.
And
that is. Go ahead.
before I go into it, I just want to say, Ashton and Becky, thank you for the honor and the privilege of assisting you with your wedding. We were the ones that were gifted. And I just want to say that. Like, it was truly an honor to help you with that. Your entire family was amazing. We loved every minute of it. We were all exhausted on Monday. We could barely walk, but it was a wedding I'll never forget. So thank you for that. That stated, to get back into the business membership, because I have had people ask questions. They want to know what's going on. Why are we doing these changes? What's going on? So my vision with Pittsburgh Brides has always been about the brides. It's always been about connecting the couples with the community and narrowing that gap and narrowing that bridge. But as we've grown at the volume that we're growing, and it's because I have someone doing SEO and I have someone doing marketing and I have 2 assistants that are keeping up with everything. We've had over 700 brides join in the last 60 days. And we say no to every 2 that tries to join because maybe they didn't answer the questions appropriately. And you're not seeing that kind of volume in any other group.
Right.
I am, and I'm not lying on that. Like that, and that is organic. That is coming from our marketing efforts, from our team that does the marketing, whether it's on the website or SEO or ads that we have in different places. Like, we are bringing the brides to our group. And, I asked this question of one of the pros the other day. I was like, where do you think all these brides come from? Like, we're the ones that are bringing them here. The members aren't saying, hey, come join. The pros aren't the ones saying, hey, come join the group. We're the ones that are bringing them here, and we're putting them here, and we're giving them resources and tools and everything that you need so that, you can connect with them and have, good relationships with them and possibly do business with them. And there's a cost in that. And
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no,
Continue.
go ahead, please.
I think now is a good, maybe a good time for you to talk a little bit about the group being public versus private, and how SEO is part of that,
Right.
and why that makes a difference.
Sure.
Because I really didn't realize until you had explained that to me, and so that might be helpful for some of our pros. But before that, I just want to say, this membership, there is no cost, of course, to the brides. Correct.
Correct.
This is just
Now or ever.
Now or ever.
Now
this
or
is for
ever.
vendors. This is for vendors.
Correct.
For professionals in the industry. Nothing to brides.
Yep.
Okay.
And because the group is for the brides, the
Right.
vendors and pros and venues are there as guests. They
Right.
always have been. And we've always been really diligent about removing any spammy type um, members that come in that all they want to do is just come on the friend, book me as a DJ, book me as a DJ, book me. And they add no real value or content to the group. Additionally, we also keep out the DJs from Michigan and planners from New Jersey and photographers from North Carolina. And you have no idea the amount of volume we get in that capacity where people are wanting to come from outside this 75-mile radius. And as a business owner, I know that you respect that. That you
Absolutely.
appreciate it, that I'm making a very conscious effort to keep the group local and the brides local. Sometimes we have brides in Missouri, but maybe they're getting married in Pittsburgh. And we ask those questions. And again, this takes time. But
Right.
currently, and since the inception, the group has been a public group, meaning it can be seen and found on Facebook. It can be found on the search engines. It can be found in various threads. Basically, anybody can see anything in this group. And we do that because it benefits our business members, because it brings more traffic in. It works SEO wise. That's why we're getting the volume of the amount of brides that we have coming in here, in the engagement, in the organic
Right.
conversations that we have. If I change the group to private, which I can and may do at some point, but I'm not planning on doing it anytime soon, that dynamic changes and it's a little bit counterproductive to the business aspect of it. So, that being said, now I have 2 assistants, I have an IT person. All of us are working to keep everything nice and tight and clean and organized. We're working really hard to keep the scammers, the fraudsters, and the bad actors out. And I'm saying right now, I know unequivocally that anybody that has any bad intentions, any scammers or fraudsters are not going to pay to participate in our platform. I
Right.
doubt that. I doubt that. I honestly do not see that happening. And then when you subscribe to our platform, to the business membership, we now have your address, we have your phone number, we have your email. You're not just behind a Facebook screen, which is so can be anyone.
Right.
It can be anyone, and it makes a safer platform for the brides. And at the end of the day, I'm going to keep coming back to it's about the brides. We have had literally dozens of brides contact us that are being scammed, for lack of a better word, theft by deception.
Right.
People are taking their money and not showing up, not returning their phone calls, not returning their emails, just flat out fraud. We have one photographer that took money from 50 couples, took their footage, never rendered out the footage that they were supposed to get, and then filed bankruptcy. And like hands up in the air, sorry, I'm filing bankruptcy. What is that? What is that? Like, that's not how you do business. That's not good business. I don't care what the circumstances are. And we're seeing more and more of that as the economy is pushed to the limits. We're going to see more of that. And it's so critically important that we narrow the field and that
Right.
we make sure that if you're in this group, that you're vetted, you're verified, and you're invested.
Right.
And it's $10 a month.
So it's I understand times are tough. Times are tough for clients and for the couples, and times are tough for business owners.
Mhm.
But $10 a month is, a latte or two at Dunkin' or Starbucks.
Yeah.
And I think that the pros on Pittsburgh Brides on this platform need to or should I don't want to preach in any way, but
Yeah.
should consider that there's a captive audience. We have a
Yeah.
captive audience of couples and of brides, in the market that we're looking for.
Mm.
Uh, I know that I can speak personally. I'm a small business. I am not advertising anywhere else. I am just engaging in the Pittsburgh Brides platform. And so when I say engaging, that means interacting with the brides whenever they post questions and,
Mhm.
giving out some advice and some tips and some tricks whenever there's a post. And
Yeah.
that is, I'm faring very well doing that. And the other websites and things like that I'm no longer doing. And I'm
Well,
having great
the
success.
and the proof of that is it's a year since we started pittsburghbrides.com, the website,
Right.
and none of those subscribers have left.
Ah,
They're there.
well,
They're
that's
there. And
right.
they're not paying us. They're not paying us to be a part of that platform because they're failing, because
Right.
they're not getting leads, they're not getting booking. And even the people that are messaging me saying, Donna, I don't know about this and I'm not sure if I want to join. And I'm like, they all admit, yeah, I'm booking brides here. I am booking. And, what I'm trying to explain to everyone is that the group in itself is only a part of the platform. The platform by design is the website and the podcast and the virtual tours and the angel weddings and the redo of the I do and all these things that we are doing that are gaining momentum and that are bringing an organic flow of brides that are
Right.
26, 27, 28, ready to book, ready to buy, ready to connect with pros
No,
in
I
the
keep talking. I'm
community.
just going to shut my door.
Okay. And so, this is work that we do under our umbrella, under our team, and that's at a cost. And I'm sorry, it's just the reality of where it's at. And, we built this platform. We brought these brides here. We created this group. I could ask any vendor in this group, how many brides have you brought to the group? And I think I asked you this, or ask anyone. And what's the answer going to be? 1, 0, 2?
I mean,
Like,
if I'm being honest, it's not
correct.
many. I mean, of course, I will tell my
Sure.
existing clients, "Hey, check this out," but I'm not I'm not doing the legwork here.
You're
And
not marketing for us. We're
I'm
marketing for you.
correct.
100%. And there's a cost involved in that. And, I've made it so affordable where it's, either $10 a month or $99 a year. And it's your choice. And it's a choice. You can choose to be a part of it or choose not to be a part of it. But as of September 1st, if you're not enrolled in the business membership subscription, then chances are you can and will be removed from the group, because we are reserving the right for the group to be members only who are on our platform in the Pittsburgh Brides platform program, whether it's a verified listing on our website or a business membership subscription that gives you the ability to participate in our group. It gives you group status, pre-approval posts. It also gives you the ability to request a podcast or to request a virtual tour, and or even to buy a post if you want to buy a post as we get closer to engagement season. I've made all these a la carte options for you, but I just, it is what it is. And a lot of people have a lot of questions. So I'm just trying to answer them all for you. The ROI is there. And the proof that the ROI is there is that the people are still on the website that joined us last year, with more joining us every day. More people are signing up here in the group every day. And everybody that sends a question to me and says, what's this change? Why are we paying? They say, okay, well, we're gonna sign up now. And why are they doing that? Because the return in investment is there. I mean,
It's
I know there's other Facebook groups. I do. But I know why ours is different. Ours is different because of the sheer volume, and that we have brides that are new brides. 26, 27, 28 I've seen in the last 60 days. This is not a dated group that has, all vendors in it, or a group that is just a place where brides go to sell their merchandise from their wedding. This group is where they come to get answers to questions when they are not sure what to do, like Becky when she wanted to move up her wedding, or a bride that her photographer took her film and ghosted and she didn't know what to do, and she's like, I need help, can somebody give me some insight? And we always make time for them, and we always, if we don't know the answer, we try to find it for them. But
it's
you know
relevant. So
it's
the Pittsburgh Brides is relevant. It's relevant, and it's like you said, we have new brides, relevant, current, important conversation, and that's what makes it, I think, a wise investment
yeah,
for our subscribers. And again, you've made it affordable.
yeah.
Um, So people are going, and I'm sure they're saying to you, why now? Like,
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Prides has been around for how long? How long has
Yeah.
Pittsburgh?
2017. So this is
Yeah.
our this is our
Okay.
8th year. And because of the sheer volume and
Right.
because of the scammers, there's so much fraud and so much scam going on that I believe it's gonna be impossible for us to protect the brides as they come in the group unless we verify, vet, and invest everybody that is a business owner in the group. Point blank.
And it's just logical, right? That as things
Correct.
scale, as Pittsburgh Brides,
Sure.
as a platform scales, there are going to be costs associated with it. Just like as a business
Sure.
scales, as I grow my business, there are more costs associated with it. Um,
Correct.
and
Correct.
of course, you didn't anticipate that when you started Pittsburgh Brides, but it has really
Never.
right,
Never. I never imagined that my day would consist of anywhere from 100 to 500 messages when we wake up in the morning. Like, that's
right,
just absolutely insane crazy, and that we're having 200 and sometimes 300 people joining a week, and for everyone that joins, we have 2 that we turn away. And
right,
that's the other point I really wanna stress about this is that to all the business owners out there that question, "Well, I'm not sure if I wanna pay for this. I'm not sure of the value of this. I'm not sure, the reason why this group is so successful is because A, it's organic, B, it's local, and C, because we keep out everybody that's not. Like, that takes energy, that takes work. We've actually had a DJ from Michigan try to get confrontational with us to why can't I be in there? I do weddings in Pittsburgh, so I have your back. Even
right.
when you don't know that I have your back, or a wedding planner from Jersey, or a photographer from North Carolina. Like, just this week, there's been at least 10 of them. And I'm like, one today from Cleveland. I'm sorry, you're not Pittsburgh. You're not local. And then they want to start a banter with us and that's time.
It's
That's
time,
time that we're taking to explain to them, I'm sorry, you can't come in. This space is for Pittsburgh vendors, wedding pros, venues only.
right.
We want the love and the business to stay local. So during tough times, everybody's looking for more bookings. Everybody's looking for more billings and money coming in, and they're starting to come in from out of state. They wanna come in from out of state, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to protect our group and say, "I'm sorry, we're not this is not who we are.
And so
I'm being true to my commitment and my vision and my passion."
you've been doing it for a long time out of
Yeah.
the generosity of
Right?
and you've been very generous, but again, it's just, we've talked about this, the volume of it, it is growing so much that it
Yeah.
is I'm gonna say time, time is money. So you are concentrating your efforts on these tasks, on these endeavors, and it's time away from your family. It's time away from,
My business. I
from
have
your
a
business.
business. I
Right.
have a business, but, I spent the better part of yesterday not really functional or able to do what I needed to do for my business because I was doing something for our community and our platform, and that's
Yeah.
just me calling a spade a spade, and, bottom line is, it is what it is, and I understand if you can't afford to join and then God bless, I wish you well, and please don't take it personally. It's just business. We just have to make sure. And again, it's also a little bit unfair to the businesses that have enrolled. And we have a couple hundred that have enrolled. For those that have enrolled, to be competing with people that have not enrolled, that's not fair. And so that's why I'm also saying, like, I'm making sure to level this playing field so that it's fair for everyone. Like, if somebody else is in this group and they're commenting and they're participating, they have the little badge that says they're an expert, then they're part of our platform. And otherwise, I wish you well and I wish you the best of luck. And I hope that you find all of your leads in your business wherever you may find it. But unfortunately, it's not going to be here because we reserve that right. We reserve that right to keep the business local. We reserve the right to keep full transparency. Anybody can be a Facebook profile, Cara.
Right.
Anybody can create one and come in here and defraud couples. And, but when you put your credit card number in and I have your digits and your phone number and your address and all that good information, at least I have a way to contact you and find you.
Right.
And it's such a nominal fee that it seems even a little bit silly to have conversations about it, in my opinion. It's like, you're only asking me about it because the group has value for you. Am I wrong?
It definitely has value for me.
Right.
I've said many times I am not advertising anywhere else. This is where I am concentrating my efforts. Um, and I doubled my bookings from last year to this year.
Right. You and many others. And if it didn't have value, you wouldn't be asking me why.
Right.
Right? You have to come back to yourself and say, why am I asking this question? This is, I'm booking here. I had a DJ I talked to yesterday, Callie. She was just sweetest girl. And she's like, Dawn, I've started my business, my entire business with Pittsburgh Brides. I have
Yeah.
built my business on this platform. She's like, I'm in. We're not going anywhere. And that is something that I've heard from several of our pros. Sarah from Design Your Travel, same thing.
Right.
She said, I started my business brand new with you, built it to $1 million business. And, I'm forever grateful to you for that. That is what I'm trying to do as an entrepreneur. I'm trying to help other entrepreneurs, but I can't pick up the dime completely. And
Right.
to the extent of the volume of people that are coming in and the requests that are coming in and the amount of just, in labor and skill that is going out to make sure that everybody's safe and that we keep the ball rolling and that we keep all those good, solid, ready to book, ready to buy leads coming in. Hello, brides,
Mhm.
coming in and giving them a safe space. That's the most important thing. Above everything else is a safe space for
Yeah.
the
This
bride.
is a way. What do you say? Vet, verify,
Invest.
and invest. So, I mean, this is a way, this is insurance for our brides to
Yeah.
know that, the pros that are engaging with them are reputable, are fair, are real people,
Yeah.
are doing, business the way that they should be. And if they aren't, there's a way to find out who they are
Yeah.
and where and where they are. And that's really important in today's, ever expanding, Wi-Fi internet land
Sure.
and world that we live in.
Sure.
So,
And you also know who to go to,
right,
right? You've got a face that's for, I'm out in the front here saying, you have a problem, you can come to me. Yeah, you can message me. I may not be able to answer immediately, but I promise I'll get back to you. And that's really important to us as well because we want to make sure that the brides understand that this is a community. I can't even tell you the amount of brides that have contacted me about florist, makeup artist, DJ, photographer, videographer. How many complaints, not from members in our group, but they found them elsewhere and then they were burned by them. And they're coming to me saying, Dawn, I don't know
what do
what
I
to do.
do?
I don't know what to do.
Hmm.
I had one DJ that a bride had booked and she was feeling uncomfortable. So she wanted to unbook him. And it became an out and out nightmare for her. He was telling her that she needed to sign a document saying that she wouldn't disparage him in order to get a refund back, get her deposit back. And I'm just in my mind thinking, oh my goodness. Like, and they don't know. And I think for Pittsburgh brides, we're here to help the brides that maybe don't have a mom or a big sister or somebody that's been married before. And like, we take them under our wing and we help them. And I think that that is our niche. That's who we are. And I'm really proud of that. I want to help any of them answer any questions that they have. And I know you do too. So does Taylor. So do so many of our members. They love to chime in and they love to help. But again, some things in life cost money, and this is one of them. And I'm being as transparent as possible in this video and sharing with everyone. And as I said, if you choose not to join and you want to go our separate ways, I wish you well. I hope your business prospers and thrives. And if not, contact me and I'll explain to you how you can enroll and join our platform.
So, what is the deadline? When do business owners need to enroll by?
So we already started the process of suspending, giving them a 2-week warning to many members. My admins, my assistants, and I wanted to point that out too. The admins don't do this work. My office does this work. The admins
Right.
are there to make sure that nobody's posting anything inappropriate in the middle of the night. They're there for the sake of urgency and those type of things. They all have lives, they all have businesses. They're not working this Facebook group and
This
this
is your
platform.
staff. So this is like your assistant that you
My
have.
internal staff.
Right.
Yes, yes. I don't want you to think I have all these volunteers that do all this. They don't. They're just watchdogs. They're just guarding the gate and making sure that, if they see something fishy, they bring it to my attention. But September 1st is our deadline.
Okay.
If you're enrolled, then you're going to be good to go to be able to communicate, and you're going to be able to engage with our brides, and hopefully your business will prosper, and maybe you'll want to upgrade to a listing on our website like Cara has. You can do a basic, featured, or spotlight listing. There's more benefits that go with that, more perks. And if you have any questions about that, you can contact me. But I'm going to drop the link below about the business membership. And we're really tired because of all the weddings we had this weekend. So please be forgiving on that because, again, time is money and we're burning the candle at both ends. I know that I am. I haven't had a day off this week. The life of an entrepreneur and the life of a woman with a mission. Like, at the end of the day, what we give back to our community represents who we are as people. And I do my very best to always give more than I take. And the proof of that is that you very rarely even see me promoting my business in the group because I'm busy doing other things. My business is booming and, I'm not going to spam you. I could easily if I wanted to, but I don't. Occasionally, recently, somebody said, you really should promote your business in the group. And I was like, yeah, maybe I will. And so I started. But, coming back to giving more than you take, like that's the person I want to be. That's the person I choose to be. And I want to be surrounded with other people like that. And so that's
And
where we're
giving a
at.
voice and a platform to new and aspiring entrepreneurs, I know is something that you really like to do, and you hold that close to your heart.
I do.
And so this is, Pittsburgh Brides is an all-inclusive space. You're
Yeah.
very welcoming to all types of business owners.
Sure.
Yeah.
Whether you have two,
As long as you're local, as long as you're local.
whether you have 2 followers or not, as long as you're local, you're
Right.
good, right? Like
Right.
we need new businesses. We need young businesses. Taylor from Myers Precision Planning, we're mentoring her and helping her business grow. I mean, somebody
She's
helped me
just lovely. I mean,
she is.
she's another wonderful human, and really is doing what she's doing because she sincerely loves it and
Yeah.
enjoys the work and likes people. And I think that's what the wedding industry needs, more people like that. And
Yeah.
there are really exciting things, to take another quick turn. There are really exciting things on the horizon for Pittsburgh Brides too. So like, you are always thinking about ways to, reinvent the wheel and things that
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Brides can do. So
Yeah. And we have, we have equal opportunities for the brides and for the vendors and for the pros. And, that is also part of our platform. And a lot of people maybe don't acknowledge that until they experience it. But our last sip and shop rocked.
yes,
Like, we had 50 brides there and it was a small, intimate setting, but you were able to make those one-on-one connections and bookings, and the vendors got to showcase their, goods and services. And everybody that left that messaged me afterward and said, oh my God, that was the most amazing show I've ever done. I want to do it again. And I'm like, I'm tired. We're going to wait 6 months to do it again. Because again, that is time. It is money. It was, we paid for all the little swag bags for the brides, and, we created that experience for them. That's who we are. That's what we wanted to do. And we also did it in a philanthropy setting, raising money for the Opera House.
right,
I want to underscore that this is not a money grab. This is about community. That's what this platform is about. And anybody that tells you otherwise, they don't know me very well. That's all
Well
I'll say.
said. Yeah,
So,
well said.
Cara, it was a
Yes.
pleasure being in the field with you. We do have this program for Pittsburgh brides, and I can send it to you. Anybody has any questions about our business membership, a business listing, our marketing menu? I know that Cara also has a copy of it, but I have to also show you. This is just a candid picture that I took of the bride and groom from
Oh,
Sunday. Isn't she beautiful? And then here they are. Look at that. He made Ashton, the groom, made that arch. Like, how beautiful. Glen Eden, what a gorgeous venue.
so pretty there.
So pretty. But I just wanted to touch base with everyone. It's late, it's Tuesday. Probably nobody's watching this, but I wanted to give you an asset where you could hear from me and my voice what's happening, why we're making these changes, why it's valuable to you, your ROI, and for the brides, what that means to you. Vet, verified, invested. When you come here, you're going to have pros that want to do business with you, that they're taking it seriously. You don't have to worry about them taking your money and then going MIA. Like, I know that we're creating that culture here. We already have it in place. We're just strengthening it.
Absolutely.
All right. Cara, thank you so much. Have a lovely evening.
Always.
I will look forward to our next podcast. Hopefully, we won't have so many tech issues.
Yeah, I think we better check out my mic before
The rules.
beforehand.
Yeah, we just kind of go wing it and say,
Yeah.
okay, we're going to go live. All right, everyone, we're going to sign off. Bye.
Bye.